into one specific genre. They've made basically like the best game in the genre ever,
Yeah.
and they plan to make sure that it is like the best game in the genre. Period. You know, like
There's no bad thing. Like when you think Diablo 3, and then you think, oh yeah, Path of Exile is like 5 times as complicated and 5 times as good.
Yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't cost any money to play, and they have a business model that is like ethically sound, right? It's like it's a business model that couldn't possibly piss off consumers ever, because you can only pay for cosmetic stuff and like stash tabs, and even the stash tab things is like not a big deal because you can just create mule characters and put all your shit in their inventory or whatever. So
yeah, I guess the only thing is that before they introduced when you sell stuff on the market, you would have to have premium steps in order to sell stuff. But
yeah.
they fixed that, I think.
You've always been able to like sell stuff. It's just it's hard to have like a good economy like going unless you have premium.
Yeah, you couldn't list it on PoE trade without having a premium stash tab. But I like that's such a small thing compared to like
right.
You know what it could be, right?
Path of Exile is really not supposed to be a trading focused game. It's really supposed to be like self-found gear, you know.
Solo, like like you can play the game like most people actually play the game solo, right? Because it's so. It's a weird, that's why I like Path of Exile, because it has this thing where it's a grind game, right? Like it's a hack and slash game. So
yeah, but you never get like the grind isn't tedious. It's exciting. It's
exactly.
New stuff is always going to happen, and the fact that they are always updating the leagues and everything. Are you looking forward to the expansion? I bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it for sure with one of my friends I always play it with.
Spacey said he'd play it with me once it comes out.
Yeah, I think it's a really good game. Like it has
it's
everything.
Probably one of the best games I've ever played, really.
Yeah, like I would agree. Like it's one of the most.
It's also like the kind of game that INTPs would like more than other types because of like the system, and you kind of have to have intuition about the network, right? It's like you have to combine like this TI framework with like thinking about your build, and then you have to think about like, oh, like what's the likelihood I'm going to get this kind of gear, right? You have to like compensate for like all these factors, and it's really engaging and cerebral game in addition to being like, you know, fun to play and like
it always keeps you on your toes. Like you never feel like you have to do some boring shit. Besides, I would say the fucking labyrinth is a fucking nightmare. But besides everything else, like I think it
like,
always keeps me in the game. Like when I'm fucking playing PoE, like I'm fucking obsessed. Like I don't sleep. I can't sleep.
I know, me either. And the thing is, it's crazy too because you can't ever like relax your brain and kind of take it easy because you'll like die probably. So so you kind of have to always be really engaged unless you're like, if you're, for example, playing in a hardcore league though, and then you're just like grinding like the ledge or something until you get to like level, 18 or something stupid like that. Like eventually you're kind of going to not pay attention, but if you're not playing the game like that, you'll never encounter that, right?
So, I've played so much PoE that I know like every monster in the game. I know what they can do and what they do, and like the different combos of things that can kill you basically. Like I know everything.
Like that the life lead reflect is going to be a problem, or like in some leagues they had that like corrupted blood. You remember corrupted blood, where if you like hit something.
I know I have remove bleed flask. I know I have to I foresee all those things. I know that, for example, when you get to maps, I know which monsters have the highest melee damage.
Yeah.
Who like uses puncture, like stuff like that. I haven't
spent a lot of time in maps and stuff, but part of the reason for that is that since I was mainly like solo playing, and I started to really get into hardcore because I enjoyed the thrill of it,
Dangerous.
It was kind of like the intensity of it. The fact that I could be playing a video game and that coming close to death in the video game almost gives me like a heart palpitation. Like I love that.
You do that purposely. I remember, like Chris, the founder of the game, he actually said that's their goal with the game. That when you meet a boss and you're almost close to dying, like your heart is fucking pounding. Like they want to give you that fucking feeling. And
God.
like I personally,
it's like the Val Overseer's Smash or whatever. Like every time you see the animation starting, and you're just like, you're like,
yeah, like.
It's
if like Dominus or something, like his fucking smash, if there's shock ground and he uses his lightning smash, like what the fuck, I'm not gonna be in there because then I get one shot.
And because of that, it's like kind of hard for me to go back to Standard League. But when I'm gonna play with Spacey, I think we are gonna do Standard because it's really hard to play with someone else. And then if one of you die, it's like
I think if you're looking at like because I've placed top 20 in leagues before, so
really?
I'm really a hardcore like gamer. Like I've played with some of the streamers as well.
Nice.
So I'm really experienced in the game. So I use a lot of time planning my builds, and usually I read through the patch notes and I create builds around what I think is going to be the most efficient because I don't have any if I have evolved. I don't care what I play, what spell I play. I just want to play the best spell. Like I want to play the build with the best clear speed in maps.
See, I because I haven't gotten to the maps in game very often, I haven't like, I'm not thinking that far ahead. I'm kind of thinking about the leveling process and being effective in hardcore, But what I typically do is that, I'll pick like one skill that's going to be like my main, DPS AoE skill, and I'll have like one single target one, and then I have to work out like all my secondary like auras and buffs and shit like that. But I typically just use like 2 or 3 main spells at most. Like unless I do something weird. One of my favorite builds was back in the day. I had a dual totem build, where you get that node where you can have an extra totem or whatever, and then I linked it with like what was it? Lightning warp. And then I added like a bunch of lightning penetration and stuff. And in that case, it was kind of like, I like doing this because it's so fucking silly and ridiculous. And the fact that it works. Yeah. It's like, I have these like totems warping around and like chasing down enemies and shocking them and killing them and shit. It's like, why does this exist? But it works, and like if I built it properly, I could also like, I realized that you could do other things too. Like you could take traps or mines and you could use those and bypass the fact that you couldn't use skills. And so you could have the lightning, totems going around, and you could also be, like one thing I would do is I would put arc on mines and I would just drop them at my feet and unleash arc. And it was like boosted, so it was basically like I could get around the fact that I didn't need, I just like a game that allows you to creatively like make anything you want to do work.
That is what the game is capable of. You could basically take any spell and make a build out of it. And also what I think the game is so good at is all the different kind of combos of items with the skill tree and the different ascendancies.
There's a whole
brilliant
complexity when you get to like, we're at the state where you're doing the maps and stuff, and you have like all these different uniques. And once you have this like huge pool of uniques, then you can create some really fucking insane builds,
like I've created like I created a build like 2 years ago or something, and it was like I created basically a cyclone build based on elemental damage.
Nice.
Because of a new unique, and then I basically.
Oh, by the way, did you see that Cyclone is getting updated so that it has pathfinding?
Yeah. Like I used to love Cyclone. Like I've played Cyclone on so many characters, it's insane.
I like Cyclone
because it's such the spell is so clean. Like I don't know, it's just a satisfying spell for me to use. Plus, it's really efficient.
Well, plus then you can do like a life strength kind of build, and it's like it makes it easier, I guess. Depending, I mean, there's probably lots of different ways you can build Cyclone actually.
Yeah, there's 100 different ways. There's two hands, one-handed shield. There's elemental. There's like physical. There's like crit. There's non-crit. There's like there's so many different like ways you could go around making. You have one skill gem, and you can make like 10 different paths to make that skill gem work.
What build planner do you use?
Mostly just use PoE planner. It's like different from the side, but it shows you different stats you get from the skill tree and such.
Yeah, I was using. Let's see, what do I have? I haven't played.
I've played the game for so long that I just like I kind of forget how it is to be at that lower level because
I've played enough that like once I get used to like a patched, if I've been playing like for a while when they haven't changed the skill tree, over time it gets to a point where I don't have to plan out as much. I kind of know like where I want to go and the most efficient paths and stuff like that. And it's like I don't have to plan out too much, but I usually do just so I don't have to think when I'm leveling up and stuff. I'll just click it out in I was using like a standalone app.
I will do this thing where I just use my PoE planner and then I kind of, I have to do this, I have to get this, blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of just look at it like once a few levels to see like how the fuck I'm going in the skill tree, right?
Has there been
the game is so different late game.
Has there been any new like keystone nodes that have come out recently that are new? Let's see.
Keystone nodes, what do you mean?
Avatar of Fire, Minion Instability. Those are all Eldritch Battery. That's been around forever. Chaos Inoculation.
Yeah, all those. I think most of them have been around for a long time.
I was just wondering if there's any new ones because I think the newest one that I remember happening was like Life to Mana or something. What did they call it? Mind over Matter.
I remember they nerfed the life percentage of the nodes by like they literally half the nodes.
Well, for a long time, everyone built only life builds, and I think they were trying to make other like.
Well, Energy Shield is a lot better now because like it's impossible to get one shot at when you're Energy Shield, for example. Plus, you can get Valpack, which makes you life steal instantly and gives you no health regen, but it doesn't matter when you're Energy Shield, right? Plus, you can take a node. I can't remember what it like void manipulation of. I can't remember the name of it, but it basically does that life steal applies to Energy Shield instead of life. So when you have that combo going on, and you can have like 13k Energy Shield compared to maybe
you can let me know if you think this is efficient or not. Like sometimes what I would do is there's those nodes that have life and mana. I would try and get as many of those as I could.
Mana nodes doesn't matter.
And get Mind over Matter. So 30% of damage is taken from mana before life.
Then I would, yeah.
And then I would get let's see, Eldritch Battery, so that way I could use my Energy Shield to kind of
But do you use you should use have you ever used something called Aegis?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Aegis or Aurora or something it's called. I think it's a good it mixes good with Mind over Matter.
Let me see. I think I have used it. It's on the bottom part of the tree, right? Like near the Duelist or something.
It's on Unique actually.
The shield Aegis. I see.
It replenishes Energy Shield by 2% of armor when you block.
See, the thing is that I'm gonna have to think about Ascendancy, or not Ascendancy. When the new whatever it's called, the new expansion comes out, is it called Ascend? No, it's not Ascendancy. That's the old one. What's it called? Do you remember?
I can't remember. My SI is really bad at that stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I work. I know how things work. I just can't remember the name of it. Like I just told you about. It like when I told you about the node in the tree before. Like it basically makes your life steal apply to Energy Shield instead of life. That part I can remember, but I can't for the life of me remember what the node is called. I only remember what it does.
Yeah. Well, anyway, when that comes out, like I'm gonna have to think about, I want to have like a good first build. Like starting a league, like a starting league build is always like kind of more restrictive than like one where you have uniques and stuff. And so
Yeah. I guess the best builds you can make, like if you wanna start good, is make a build that requires items
that aren't going to be like, yeah, that are common stuff that you can get easily. Like you don't want to get like a pure elemental build or something when you have, because then you'd have to roll for those elements all the time, and it would be kind of annoying. For example, like
I don't know. It depends on if you're self-found, of course. If you're self-found, it's a different game because self-found is so different.
Yeah.
Because
well,
that's why you really have to stick to the rare.
What would happen is that if I'm playing with Spacey, we'd be able to share, so I'd have a better odds of getting the stuff that we need, as long as we specialize, And
I would just play something that requires like rares in general. Like,
well, there's some skills that are like easy to scale with too, like, but with the new
sticks.
Let's be honest, like with the new expansion, I'm gonna want to play one of the new skills. So until I see what they are, I'm not gonna be able to speculate,
Like pizza sticks, I played that a lot.
Played what?
It's called pizza sticks.
Pizza sticks? What is that?
It's a flame totem.
Oh, flame totem. Everyone was using flame totem to level for a while.
Yeah, fire. Yeah, I guess it's called. Yeah, it's flame totem. But basically, it's like a totem, but then it like kind of expands, so it looks like a pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I call it pizza sticks.
Do you know anyone, or are you in the beta coming up?
No. What do you mean?
Exactly? Like, so in the next like they're gonna have a beta for the expansion coming out, and I was wondering if you'd be in it.
No, I got invited before actually, but I've been out of the community a lot because I played semi-pro Counter-Strike for a while. So.
Oh, okay. I got you. But
especially what I do now, I try. I play Counter-Strike on a pretty high level. I used to get salary, but I don't anymore because I'm teamless right now. But
But I'm thinking is, since people are beta testing it, right, that some of the skills and stuff are going to be known then, correct? Is there like an NDA, I wonder? Maybe.
Yeah, they usually like release the skills that's going to be in the new patch or like new expansion before, like a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
And then people can kind of speculate, but I don't know.
But like
most of the people who go for number one, they usually do this thing where they just theory craft their way through it all and just basically comes up with the best like build.
The ones that be the most effective and the fastest leveling up and all that.
Clear speed, survivability, blah blah, all that stuff.
Yeah, one thing I haven't been very good about is like, it seems like a lot of really good builds have like a mid-level respec thing where you kind of like shift your build after you have enough points and you do like a bunch of refunds and you like move everything around.
But Energy Shield, you do that like every time.
Well, you have to, because otherwise you'll die.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I hate that transition as well. I think it's
so awkward. Yeah.
But I generally play like builds where I use my main ability in the start of the game, because then I just kind of evolve it slowly, right?
Right. I prefer builds like that too, but there's some things like, if you're gonna go for like like any of the ones that dramatically change your survivability, you have to like do like a massive respec.
Yeah, and it requires to know what exactly you're doing, what items you need, what place in the game, like what kind of time in the game do I need to change to this thing, and blah blah blah.
That's like, you got to have like an established
experience, I guess.
You have to have an established bank also of like items and stuff before you make like a Chaos Inoculation character, for example.
Yeah, like there's a lot of.
I've tried to do like in the past, like when I saw Chaos Inoculation, I tried to do like self-found, and it was like, there's no, like, it's so hard, so brutal. Like,
I got to 94 on a self-found character.
Nice.
It's Spectral Throw. It was really easy to play because it basically just required elemental weapons. which is really easy to craft with something called essences.
I've started leagues with Spectral Throw. I think it's a good all-around skill to use.
It's so easy, and you can use it all the way up, right? Like you don't have to change direction or build or respec anything. It's just.
Do you like to use like lesser or greater multiple projectiles on it?
I use GMP now because it got buffed, and plus the nerf like GMP, it basically got buffed a little bit, so I would use that instead definitely.
Okay.
But like I think early in the game when you're leveling, LMP can be better until you get more damage. Basically, you get to a breaking point where you feel like you just one-shot mobs, but you don't kill them fast enough. That's why you kind of switch to GMP to get the clear speed going.
So as far as like making an evasion character, is it pretty much like required if you're doing a hardcore character that you need to have energy shield so you don't get one shot?
No, like on hardcore, I always play life-based build because.
Is evasion viable at all in hardcore now? Because I know they've tried to make it really viable.
But. Yeah, with something called acrobatics, it's pretty viable, I think. If you know what acrobatics is.
Yeah, it's on the tree. I'm looking at it. How has it been changed? 30% chance to dodge attacks, 50% less armor energy shield. Yeah, see, the thing is, I just worry about like the RNG. Like eventually, you might get one shot. So. But you said
but then you have to think of this. You will never get one-shotted, like where you literally lose, let's say 6k health in one hit. It's always like you get hit for like maybe 70 to 80% of your life, and then you get hit by something small, and then you die. That's basically what happens usually. You usually never get like purely one-shotted, and when you have like let's say 60% chance to evade and 30% dodge chance, like. And it doesn't work by chance. Like it works. I don't know how to explain it because my English is pretty bad. But basically, it's 1 out of 3. So there's basically no chance that something would hit you twice in a row.
Oh, basically. Okay. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It doesn't do it by chance. It do it by it queues it up.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
So when, let's say a monster missed you, like you have evaded attack 3 times in a row. With 60%, then basically your chance to evade just gets like it queues it up basically, so it gets lower and lower and lower until you do it again. So let's say you got hit like twice in a row, which would be really rare. Then you would have like 99% chance to evade the next, like the third attack.
I see, but it still seems kind of scary to do evasion in hardcore.
Just play fucking life on hit or something like lifesteal heavy, because I did that on my Spectral Throw character and I could tank everything, because even if I got hit pretty hard, I would just like instantly get full health.
So do you typically go like blood magic or do you
on Spectral Throw I usually don't go blood magic because I need the auras, like I need wrath, anger, I need
all the reserve. Yeah, you have to kick. Yeah, that's right.
And then besides that, like life on hit on claws is something that didn't used to be before, so now you can use life on hit.
Oh, right. There's a support gem that has just that's basically blood magic too, right? So you don't have to necessarily get the node if you just want like one attack to like.
Plus, like but in the tree you can basically just take a node that gives you 0.2% life, like mana leech on attacks, and that's basically enough. Like you don't even need the blood magic gem.
To always upkeep mana, yeah.
Yeah,
and then you can just reserve like 90% of it for auras, and then just.
Yeah, I did that, and then basically I would just like instantly get my full mana left every time I hit something. Plus, the implicit stat on claws is life on hit, like 50 health or something. And when you play Spectral Throw with fucking 8 frenzy charges and insane amount of attack speed, and with the GMP, like you fucking life like 1,000 health a second or something. Like when you're in a pack of mobs, at least. So like, yeah.
Man. Yeah, I can't wait till the expansion. I'm gonna play the shit out of that.
Yeah, it's like definitely the best game of that genre right now.
It blew my mind when I saw the reveal trailer, and they were like, Act 5, Act 6, Act 7, Act 8. I was like, what? Act 9, Act 10. And I was like, are you fucking shitting me?
I really like the fact that they don't, that
they don't want to do the repeat,
so you don't have to run through the same thing 3 times.
It's gonna be so much better. Like the leveling, the leveling is like, it's already like pretty engaging compared to other games in the genre, but now it's going to be so much easier because there's always going to be this new shit that you're like encountering.
You're never going to be like, holy shit, I have to do this 2 more times again. Like,
but it's going to be a trip for the hardcore players. There's going to be basically like,
I'm looking forward to it. I was thinking like I was talking with my buddy like what we would play, like different builds, and I was like, I'm just gonna play something where I cannot die because
there's gonna be way too many bosses that you just like won't know what.
I don't know the mechanics of them, right? So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. So if I play like a squishy character and I get one shot by and like afterwards I'm like, what the fuck just happened,
Yeah.
But here I would actually have a chance. Plus I could play with curses like Enfeeble and Temp Chains and stuff like that.
Recently, they released like a video of someone fighting one of the new bosses, and it's like you get surrounded by like water, and you're like in the eye of a hurricane, and you're like battling this boss. So like, but if you go to the edges, you like get like sucked into the water or whatever or something. And it's like a crab that's like doing crab shit.
Sounds brutal. The first time I had to kill, I can't even remember the last boss's name in Act 4. What the fuck is it?
Oh, Piety or not? No, not Piety. Fucking Dominus or whatever the fuck his name. You're talking about the Templar, the head Templar asshole god.
The guy with the blood, like you basically go down in a boss room where it's just hearts and blood everywhere.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Sorry, Act 4, not Act 3.
What the fuck is his name? I can't even remember.
But you like collect his eye or something, right?
Yeah, you collect the 3 different organs from 3 different bosses.
The fire themed one, right?
Huh?
Are you talking about the fire themed one?
I have to look up his name. PoE Act 4 bosses. As he's called. Why can't I remember? Oh yeah, it's Malachi.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever? Yeah, you've beat him before.
Yeah. Right? I've beaten the game. I've just not played in a while.
When he was first introduced, that was one of the biggest challenges I've ever experienced in hardcore.
You know what I fucking died from when I first played Act 4 was in it was, I was playing a hardcore character, self-found. And I died in the caves because there was this one boss, and when you killed him, he like exploded. And oh god, I was like way too close to him. I think I was doing a melee thing. And, it just exploded in one shot of me, and I was just like,
Dude, I was I think I was level 95, and I was like top 30 on the ladder, right?
Yeah.
Like it was only like a couple of days in, so I was, I had played like 20 hours a day for like 4 days, so it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And then basically what happened was there's this boss, and I on the map, you can roll different mods on the maps, right?
Yeah.
And I basically rolled double boss, so there's 2 bosses. And basically, this boss, she corpse explodes, basically.
Yeah, corpse explodes.
But then basically, what happens is I killed the first boss, and then I don't think, holy shit, she's gonna corpse explode the boss, because usually the white mobs, they're pretty. Like they can one shot me from corpse explode, but right. The fucking boss corpse explodes the other boss.
So I just linked you the Act 6 boss. It's called the Brine King, so you can see what it's gonna be like.
Okay.
It looks
pretty exciting. Holy shit!
The build that the guy is using is really bad too. So
it's like fuck that shockwave. It looks like it's chaos damage or something.
Yeah.
Like it literally looks like chaos damage actually.
And this guy's attacks like have such a wide berth. Like you just have to tank them, it looks like.
Yeah, if you're melee, you're gonna have to tank the melee
Have a
hits.
hard time.
Maybe if you're ranged, you wouldn't have to tank.
Yeah, melees always have a hard time, don't they?
Yeah, but also they have. Yeah, I guess it just depends on
Well,
your build.
they have a hard time with bosses, but they have better survivability outside, I feel.
Well, fuck. When people if people haven't seen this boss fight and just see the water coming around them,
Yeah,
they're
like,
shit
oh,
their pants.
like I can't go into the water, you know, like. Actually, I don't know if it actually sucks them away. It might just be a barrier. I think it's probably just a barrier. That'd be too brutal.
But you know, some bosses are good for melees, and some bosses are good for ranged. Like that boss right there, you can just see that it's good for a ranged character and shit for a melee character.
Who's like the duelist in Act 4, like Varisso or something like that? I forget his name, but he does like those sword attacks.
The wrestler.
Yeah, like he is fucking brutal if you're melee. Like,
I think also like Calm can be pretty brutal if you're ranged.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's definitely some bosses that are pretty brutal, especially in maps. Like you have to get to maps before it like gets really fucking scary.
So you know what this boss looks like? It's like what's her face? Like that girl that you kill at the end of Act 1 is like possessed, like the Dweller of the Deep or something. That's what it looks like.
Oh yeah, big version of Dweller of the Deep.
But since that woman's coming out of it, it makes me think that it's that chick from the final boss from Act 1, maybe somehow, like her spirit.
You mean Merveil?
Yeah, Merveil. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, could be. I think they definitely created some lore to it. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a full lore. You know, when I go through, I want to listen to, because since they're adding like all these new acts, like it's gonna all be filled with new lore and shit too. So
yeah, but you know, like I play the game totally differently because I played it for the competitive aspect, right? So
yeah, so
I don't really care about.
You're gonna jump in and you're gonna like, I don't have time for this shit. I got.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do, right? But I think it's because I'm so driven by the competitive aspect that I don't feel like I have time for.
I've only done like a few short races, like a couple hours, like that kind of thing. I've never done like a league race. That seems so hardcore to me. Like,
yeah, I do the league races, and basically what I do is I play for 18 hours and then I sleep for 6 hours, and I basically do that for 2 weeks.
Do you like make any money streaming and doing that, or?
No, like basically, I usually fix all the SI stuff before, so I can't be bothered. I fix all my assignments. I go to this. Yeah, I guess it's kind of college thing, So basically, yeah, I only have to do the assignments. So I basically just do all the assignments for the week after. So I just have nothing to do basically, so I can just play.
Yeah. Okay. So you just make it like you just sequester away like a time so that you'll be able to do it. I bet you though, exactly. if you wanted to and you had a good enough computer, you could probably make money streaming.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it before.
So then you could like not feel bad about like neglecting your physical life. That way you could like make some money and then justify. You could like justify it.
Be a streamer. That would be my dream.
You could just go up to other people and be like, "Why are you wasting your way?" It's like, I make money on this. Fuck you. Like.
But in general, I fucking hate people who say I'm wasting my life doing this shit because literally it's just a hobby, it's an interest. Yeah. The way I do go about my interest is I get fucking obsessed because I like it when it's all or nothing, right? Like I like it. I like going ham. I don't.
I don't like to have this like delayed kind of like metered like, well, I'll do a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. I just want to be like, and just like do everything and be awesome and like,
Yeah, exactly. Just do it like I don't know where it comes from, but I'm an all or nothing person. Like
I'm that way too, and that's why like I have this plan to like make this company or whatever, and it's like I can't just be all or nothing because it's gonna take way too much time.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like right now I'm still, you know, I basically have to wait a little while before I can graduate because the classes that are for me to graduate aren't going to be offered until the semester after next. So basically, like I feel all this pressure to like do all this stuff to prepare myself so that after I get my degree that I can start like trying to get funding and stuff so that I could maybe like have a startup, you know. But you know, it's not something I can just like until I'm at that point, right? I'm just like I have to do all this groundwork and all, you know, it's something I have to work on like month by month. I can't just like and I'd prefer to just like go, you know, just insanely like just focus and just do it all, but like it's not realistic, you know. It's like but in a game I can totally do that.
Yeah, true.
And also like when people say that you're like wasting your time and stuff in video games, I fucking learned how to do research playing video games. Like I learned how to think playing video games, you know what I mean? Like it there's certain like theory crafting in a video game is very much like theory crafting like a research plan, you know.
Especially in PoE, like
yeah,
holy fuck.
It's like
that's why it has so many interests, like on the top level. Like you know, I played a lot with those guys like Nuki and Cicerin and stuff. Like I've played with those guys, and like a lot of those guys on top level, you know, the top 20 players. Like a lot of them are like fucking academics.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I've found that like a lot of like if I can get into a really cerebral like theory crafting, like kind of, you know, typically RPGs are going to be the ones that have like all the theory crafting, you know. Games like that have synergized well with like skills I've learned in school and stuff, and especially like when it comes to like doing, you know, research, right? Like, and there's a lot of games, like I played a lot of MMOs and stuff too, and I learned how to figure out like every aspect of a game by like finding information on the internet about things so that I didn't have to do all the research myself, right? So like learning how to do literature research is something I learned from playing video games. Because, you know, now it's like, how do you find out what other people in the field are doing or whatever? It's like figuring out how to find those little corners on the internet where there's people that are, you know, studying that thing that you're interested in is a lot like when I was playing, you know, before I had good internet, I used to play a lot of RuneScape, and no one, you know, there wasn't very many people that looked into like the deep mechanics of the game because it was kind of casual, you know. But but there was like groups of people like in these like far off corners of the internet. There were like communities of people that were like hardcore, like doing like scientific method, you know, like trying to figure out like how the game worked. and I would like find those communities and sometimes contribute, but it was like a way in which, you know, I figured out how to find information in hidden little corners of the internet, you know.
Yeah, I do that too. Like the way I research information is probably way different. But also regarding the academics and in top level gaming, like fucking the best player, like the best PoE player, like in Path of Exile, he has a fucking master's in physics, right? And he's like, I'm pretty like from his stream and like the way I talk to him, like I'm 100% sure he's like an INTJ, and I'm pretty sure like PoE is in like an INTJ fairy tale land as well for an INTJ. Don't you think? Like
I have an INTJ friend that likes it as well. Most everyone, so there's a ton of like I spent a lot of time around physics students and stuff, and everyone that I've introduced to this game who is like a physics person likes it.
Yeah, like I've noticed, but also like gaming in general have taught me that people have different strengths in the game, like the way they mechanically get better at the game.
Right. Like I've noticed that some people are really smart players, right? They're like really adaptable, right? They can adjust and like some weird new circumstance comes out and they're able to quickly adapt, right? And that's kind of like that's a place that I realize that like I'm kind of smart too, like compared to
an ISTP thing also. I think like I noticed that ISTPs are fucking geniuses at that, like adapting to what's happening in the game.
But also like there's the best, I guess the place where the dichotomy is really obvious is in StarCraft 2, right? You have the players that are like mechanically like godlike, right?
ISTPs and stuff like that.
That their mechanics are so precise that, like, you know, and they have the build down to the millisecond. You know, right? They have everything planned out, and it's like, boom, they just go in, and their execution is incredible. And then you have players that are very, very smart, right? They've planned out their build and they're all this, but they're not as good at execution. But let's say that, like, you know, someone tries some new strategy and catches you off guard. They're like really adaptable, right? So in that dichotomy, I'm more of the second type of player than the first, right? But in Path of Exile, there's like a lot other factors, for example, that, you know, that come into play, or like in a first-person shooter, like, you know, mechanics are like really important, you know.
I played, you know, like I told you before, I was playing top level Counter Strike as well, you know, and my way of getting better was basically researching, watching demos of pro players, and then basically noticing tendencies, and then adding it to my own game, and that's basically how I got better, because it didn't seem natural to me to how to fix things in the game. Like, how the fuck do I get better at this? Like, I had no fucking idea, right? So I just looked at like how others played, and then I kind of adapted to what I saw. And
yeah, that's kind of like, recently a game came out called Snake Pass, which is like a puzzle platformer, but you control like a snake, and it's like physics based. And I was playing the game, and after I beat the game, I realized that there was like time trials, and I started playing them, and I realized that, like, oh, like, I'm getting top scores on a lot of these time trials. And so I found this speedrunning community, and then over time, like, we started, like, it was so, you know, it was crazy how much faster you can make progress when you could see someone else's run and then be like, oh, I'll incorporate that into mine, and then, you know, it's like you incorporate everybody else's technique into yours, and then you end up having the best run, you know.
Yeah, that's like a kind of like, you know, in TI thing, you gather the data, and then you basically pick out the best, you know, you pick out the things that works, basically, and then you apply it to
I had a lot of fun doing that, but I kind of got bored, and there's people there that have way better times than I ever had now, because they've been so persistent, you know. I played for like the first month, you know, and then I was like, or not even the first month, like the first 2 weeks, I played so hard. Like, I was playing with a controller, and I played so much that I had like blisters on my thumbs. I was like, it's time to stop playing this game.
Like, I've noticed that for example, ISTPs and ESTPs, the way they learn, they learn by playing, you know. They learn, for example, like, they play a game and they make a mistake. They're like, holy shit, I made a mistake, and then they correct it. Whereas maybe when we play a game, we can make a mistake, but we don't quite realize we made the mistake before we watch the demo of it, maybe, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Whereas an ISTP will learn on the spot, right? They learn through playing, while we learn through.
Yeah. So the game I just linked is Snake Pass, and the thing I really liked about it with speedrunning, though, is because since it was physics based, that there was all this like emergent shit that the developers didn't plan for, that you could, you know, like, I was finding ways to like climb up walls and shit and like skip half the level, because like, you know, I was able to be very creative and smart about that, and I really enjoyed it because I was able to kind of like use NE to think of all these different possibilities and like look and see like where are the areas in which I could abuse the physics in the game, and then to go test it out, you know, was like really fun. I really enjoyed it.
But also it has the mechanical aspect of it, which makes it like,
yes, it's a game that's like very interesting to control, because basically you move the position of the head, and then you like elongate the body, and you constantly have to have a curl in your body if you want to have the most speed. But we found like a little glitch that if you have the bird pick up your tail, you can basically just go straight without having to. It was like a weird physics thing, because the force vectors, like when the bird lifts up your tail, it puts all the force like more down, and like your forward velocity was determined based on like the force that your body has like on the surface or something like that. It was like a weird glitch, but they're gonna patch it soon, and it's gonna change some of that. I might play again, but it's a really fun game.
I guess like the information we're talking about, like, imagine in the real world how useless that information is. Like, literally, like the information I have about like Path of Exile and stuff, like in real life, it's literally like, no, it's not something like it's not information I can share with others. Like,
right. but
it's not such a big part of my knowledge span. But like nobody will understand.
The method, though, and the kind of like way of thinking is something that is transferable, but not the specific contextual knowledge, obviously, right? Or like, I don't give a shit about your knowledge of Path of Exile, but your ability to plan out a build and your ability to synthesize these like theoretical frameworks and then enact them, right? That's something that INTPs struggle with in the real world. But the fact that you're doing it in a video game, perhaps to some degree that skill is transferable. It's just that, life is a lot less controlled than a video game.
Yeah, like in a video game, you can, it's just a bunch of zeros and ones, right? So you can basically, hypothetically, you would be able to control everything in a video game, right?
Yeah. But in the real world, it might not be as deterministic as a video game,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about it, that you can get so much control that it almost like people would be baffled about like how much control you have over this thing or game or whatever, like the mechanical aspect of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for example, I noticed in Counter-Strike, for example, I usually play like deathmatch and whatever. I just go around one-shotting people with AK. Like I'll do like 20 one-shots in a row, and my friends would be like, "Holy fuck!" Like,
how are you doing? Yeah.
How are you doing that? And I'm like,
that's how. Like, see, I wasn't even very good at Path of Exile, but I had played like a few hundred hours, right? And I was playing with my friend that was playing it for the first time. He'd only played like Diablo, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll do hardcore. It'll be fine." And like he didn't even have like good discipline about stutter stepping or anything. It was like here I was going like I was like way faster than him, like moving, stutter stepping, shooting, avoiding, annoying what enemies to avoid and all this kind of stuff. And eventually he died due to some like corrupted blood monster or something. And and he was just like, Jesus Christ, like how are you so good at this? And he got like really demotivated. He like didn't want to play. But he was like an INTJ, so he felt a little bit demasculated. But yeah, it's like crazy, like how specialized our skill sets can get when we're obsessed about something, compared to like just someone else that's just like like, oh, like let's and it's funny, like I feel like I can achieve like a high level of mastery like above 80% of the population given like a few weeks on most games, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like that you're operating in that like 99 percentile.
Yeah, I do that in every game. Like in Counter-Strike, I probably work in the 99% percentile, and I do that in PoE as well. But I think that is just like a part of my goal, that like I have a really competitive side, right? So I want to be part of the best, and I always compare myself to the best. So I won't think I'm good enough until I reach a level where I'm comparable to those guys.
Yeah.
So I'm satisfied.
Have you ever played the game Warframe?
No.
So
I don't play a lot of games actually, like I'm really restricted because
you want to be the best. Yeah.
Exactly. So I've only played like PoE, Counter-Strike.
Well, one thing about this game Warframe, have you ever heard of it?
Only the name, but
it's an action RPG, but it's like you have free. It's also like has like parkour elements, right? You have like free movement in 3 dimensions, and it's like a shooter also. So there's like melee weapons and like mid-range and long-range weapons, and there's all different kinds of weapons. It's like really unique weapons. And the thing is that like both your Warframe, which is like your class or character that you're playing, which is like interchangeable, right? You can have multiple Warframes. And each of your weapons has their own like build that you have to put in them, and the way that you get they're called mods, and the way you get mods is just like from playing the game, like getting them in drops and stuff like that, and you like slot the mods. But it's really, really fun to theory craft in that game. It's really enjoyable, and it's really, really like it's kind of like Twitch based. Like it's really high. Like the skill ceiling is like no one's reached the skill ceiling. Like it's really high, like really high skill ceiling game. But It's
And
still
I guess Counter-Strike is kind of like that way in itself, that the skill ceiling is almost non-existent, right?
yeah. But the only thing about this game is that they are a little bit. It's not pay to win per se, but it's pay to speed up grinding. You know, it's
You can grind more and get more out of it, or what?
well, see, if you do like in order to level up and like get to the build you want and like get everything up, mastered so that you can get the most out of your build as possible, like you would have to do a lot of grinding if you didn't want to spend money. Like a lot to the point where it becomes a little frustrating. Like it's a little bit like a Korean MMO in that sense, which is kind of that's what always like drives me away from it,
like I have all the respect in the world for people playing like Eve or something.
Yeah.
I have a friend who did it. He played it for 8 years. Like, I have no idea how fucking like that's the nerdiest of the nerdiest of the nerdiest game you can ever play.
And it's so incredibly grindy. But Warframe's a little bit like that. That if you want to be the best, right, you would have to spend money if you were going to be competitive, right? It's at that point, where it's like effectively like yes, you can pretty much do everything in the game, just by grinding, right? But some things are like it's so much of it is RNG based, and like some stuff is just like time delay stuff, right? It's like in order to make an item, it'll take like to build a new Warframe, it'll take like 3 days unless you pay to speed it up. Like it's that kind of thing, which is kind of frustrating. But the gameplay, it's some of the best gameplay I've ever experienced. It's just their payment model is kind of takes away from that. But
have you ever played the Travian?
Played what?
Travian or Travian?
Can you spell it?
That's fine.
Just type it so I can.
This.
Travian? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Travian, something like that. No,
I used to be like number one on those servers, like when it was popular back in the day. It's not anymore.
Is this one of those? Yeah, this is one of those things where like you're building parts of your kingdom and you can pay money to speed up like the building process or whatever.
Yeah, like I was so obsessed with that game for a while, like, but this is like 5 years ago or something. But like I always had this desire to be in the top percentile. So I kind of have, maybe it's just that's where like kind of my arrogance comes from. I don't need a college degree to succeed. Maybe that's because through the games I've played, I've noticed that I have this ability to like move above the rest.
Yeah.
So it gives me this confidence that I believe that I can that I'll be able to program, like be a good enough programmer to land a job without having papers.
Yeah, that it just kind of takes like you can figure out how to you can figure things out on your own, or through online resources, and
that's kind of the satisfaction for me is that I don't need a paper. I don't need a useless fucking paper that says, oh yeah, like it doesn't say that you're good at it. It just says that you've gone through
the process. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's almost like kind of like negative thing for me at least. Like it would definitely give me less satisfaction going through
the only reason, like I would, I would feel similarly, but I've kind of caught in this catch-22. It's like where I can't find specialized information about nanoscience like online very easily, like without getting taught by somebody who can teach me like what the fuck any of it means. And like it's like
yeah.
the science stuff that I'm interested in is like way more esoteric, and there's not like a bunch of people that are like engaged in it on the internet. So that
I guess like programming, that's where like programming is like all the information about programming is accessible on the internet, right? Like you can get deep in this stuff without having to talk to a teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
So many online classes you can take and stuff.
Yeah, but if you ever get bored, you might want to try out Warframe. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like a squad based thing, so you can have like 4 other people in your team. And it's like most of the game is like cooperative, but there also is a multiplayer component that is kind of independent from the main game. But they're still like tweaking the multiplayer stuff. So there's 2 different multiplayer forms. There's like some stupid ball game where you play, it's like lacrosse, like but then there's like an actual like like node-based capture, like competitive side of it, but they're still tweaking it, right? They're working on it. But as far as like being the best, like the only thing about it that you might not like is that there's no really like objective metric about being the best unless you were doing really well in the PvP side of things. But it's kind of unstable, so if you kind of like to have that objective metric where you can look and see like, oh, I'm top of the leaderboards, like I don't.
The leaderboards is important. Like it absolutely needs to have that kind of thing for me.
That game doesn't really have it except for the PvP side of things, which is still limited, so you might not enjoy it as much. But the gameplay is phenomenal. But
I guess I could use like play it on the side because I do. Of course, I've played a shitload of games, but I don't play them seriously. I just play them for like 20, 30 hours over like a course of a week, maybe. Then I play like 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe casually. Not casually for many people, That is kind of like in my definition of casual.
Casual is like, man, that's more than I played in games in like a month. And you're like, yeah, I casually played this game for like 2 days, and
I played like 10 hours a day for a week.
Yeah.
Casual thing.
Casually played a game for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, and the SJ is like, what the
fuck? I just imagine Elsie being like, what? Did you like go eat? Did you like take care of yourself? Did you go make sure you manage your like investments? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, my fucking worldview on that shit is so skewed because, and the funny thing is like when one of my friends is like, oh yeah, like I played the League of, like he would tell me like, oh, I played so much League of Legends. I don't know if you played League of Legends.
I played a bit, but I didn't like it very.
Basically, he told me like, "Oh yeah, I've played a lot," and he wasn't even level 10.
Oh,
and my definition of playing a lot, like that, it's like,
oh, so you're rank 3, or sorry, you're rank 30. You're already playing competitive, and you've like mastered the game.
I have like, I have 3,000 ranked games plus I'm level 30.
Or it's like someone's like, I play a lot of StarCraft 2, and it's like their Bronze League, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but I think that's because like. Me and you, we always compare us to the like, best, right? We know what the best is.
I think you probably do it more than I do,
Yeah. I think kind of maybe it's because of my free that
I'm like in school and stuff too, so I've kind of like learned that I can't do that.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, I'll like be mad at myself for like fucking neglecting my life purpose or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get that because I don't know. My school is so casual. Like it's so easy to. I'm just taking classes, small classes, because I don't actually know what I want to do. Because I've lived in a lot of different stuff going on. Maybe I want to be like a pro CS:GO player, but.
Hey, really I tell you what, if I succeed in making that company, you can work on Skunkworks as like a programmer or something.
Agree.
I think it'd be
but
cool.
I also want to be good at programming, right? So I have a lot of different projects that I want to kind of do, but I don't really know what I want to stick my teeth
one thing I was thinking of, how crowdfunding has become like a pretty big thing, like for Kickstarter and stuff like that. What do you think of the idea of like doing that, but like for scientific projects or like to bring up, you know what I mean? Like to do research, like, cause I was thinking that like, if you could get, cause I've seen there's like a few like GoFundMe, like there's a few places that are more catered towards like science stuff where they actually do that, but they don't have like huge, public engagement, right? There's like a few nerdy people that are like, I want to see this research, and they send like $10, like.
Yeah, I guess like maybe you have to make it Like,
But
right
see, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, there's like YouTubers and stuff like Vsauce and like some of these other like kind of like sciencey people, but are more like people focused. Like, if you could work with them and like fund research, you could bypass the entire university system to do research, and there'd be no institutional overhead, right? Because you could just get funding directly from the